Hey you guys, it's Mama's Rule. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. As you see in the title, I wanted to talk about the symptoms that I had before I even knew that I was pregnant. Hopefully this might be able to help somebody else out because y'all, I'm already a mom of two. I've already been pregnant 3 times prior to this pregnancy. Unfortunately, my first one resulted in a miscarriage, but I have a healthy 6, soon to be 7 in August year old. And I also have a 1 soon to be 2-year-old. He will be 2 this April. And I mean, I should have known that I was pregnant, but I honestly, when I tell y'all, I promise y'all that I was not expecting to get pregnant. I did not plan to get pregnant. The fact that I'm doing this video is still like so surreal, so crazy to me. But like I said, I wanted to share with you guys what my symptoms were before I even knew I was pregnant. So without any further ado, obviously now I'll be doing a lot of pregnancy videos, but I do cleaning motivation videos. I do motivation in general videos, lifestyle. I just love and desire to be of service to somebody else through my life and things that I talk about here on this channel. So if you're interested in stuff like that, stay tuned. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So, like I said, this is in no particular order. If I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my notes. But one thing for sure that made me say, you need to go get a test. Like, maybe we need to test. And even, like, to be honest with you guys, like I said, I had a plan. This pregnancy was not a part of the plan. I had a 2-year plan or like maybe a 1-year plan. I wanted to make sure that I had my last baby before I turned 35 because I did not want to be high risk or anything like that. And my husband and I weren't trying. And I know that this is going to sound so cliche, but if you're not protecting yourself, then obviously it could happen. And we have learned that clearly. Not that we didn't know that before, but I didn't think I could get pregnant this quick, especially I already have a 1-year-old. So this is like a quick turnaround. But anyway, the first symptom that I had that really made me think you need to go get a test is my husband came home from church one day and I was in the kitchen washing dishes. And I guess I had an attitude, which, okay, sometimes I can have attitude, okay? But I guess I had like a bad attitude, so much so that he was like, what's wrong with you? And I said to him, I'm aggravated, I'm agitated, and I don't know why. And he kind of was just like, you know, whatever. But that really stuck to me because if I'm agitated or something like that, I know why I'm agitated. You know, there's nobody who's just agitated for no reason. So I kept thinking about that throughout that day. Like, girl, did you hear what you just said? Like, why do you feel this way? Maybe we should take a pregnancy test because I did also notice that my period normally comes by the 4th of each month. And this was December 6th that I took the test and that all of this was going down. So I was already 2 days late. And I'm the type of person, if I'm late, I always tell myself that can only mean 2 things. 1, there's something wrong with you, or 2, you're pregnant. But for whatever reason, I guess it's because I was not planning on getting pregnant. And I just did not think I could get pregnant this quick without a plan. Like, guys, when I tell you I wasn't charting my cycle. So I guess, you know, like I should have known better. I wasn't charting or anything. So I didn't know when I was fertile, when I wasn't, whatever. So I'm like, okay, our period hasn't come yet. We're aggravated and we don't know why, but I'm quite certain that I am not pregnant. So what do? I decide to go to the Dollar Tree, my favorite place, and get a pregnancy test. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dollar Tree's pregnancy tests are on point, okay? It's only $1. You go, you take the test, and it's accurate 99% of the time, just like any other pregnancy test. So I go to Dollar Tree, I get the test, and like as soon as I put the sample on the test, within like 5 seconds, that joker read positive. And I have taken pregnancy tests before, you know, if you're a little scared and you don't know, and I automatically get a negative. So when I saw the first line, I'm like, okay, great, we're negative. Let's keep it moving. But then I continued to watch and I saw the second line and I was stunned. So much so that I was like, you know what? this can't be true. This can't be real. I'm going to go back to the store tomorrow and get 2 more tests to test again. So the very next day, I went back to the store. That morning, I dropped my son off to school, went, got 2 more tests, took the test, and got the same results, positive, positive. So at this point, I'm like a little bit down, but then I'm like, what are we upset about? We're pregnant. This is a beautiful thing. I know this is not the timing that you wanted it to be, and you have all of these things going on because, guys, I was literally trying to get my son, my youngest son, in daycare full time. And if you know how expensive daycare is, then you know how hard it is to put out that money for your child to go to daycare 5 days a week, on top of then having my oldest one have to do some type of aftercare as well. So I was already stressing about that, and trying to get that in order. You know, then my job is a whole nother situation with my hours and blah, blah, blah. That's a video for another day. But I was already trying to like get stuff situated with that. And here I am popping up pregnant again. Like, what the heck? But then, like I said, I calmed myself down. I was like, you know what? This is a blessing. I'm not going to respond this way because, number one, I don't want to go through what I went through my first pregnancy. And number two, this is a blessing and a gift from God. If he gave it to me, then he is going to find a way to help me raise this child and the other 2 that I have, and all will be well. So I just left everything to him in that moment. And I said, God, you allow this to happen. I believe that everything will be well. You know my concerns. I'm leaving this in your hands. So those were my first 2 things. Now, things that I did not even think about until after the fact, obviously, was I would try to work out within the days leading up to this test. I would be trying to work out and I get winded very easily, just unmotivated, sluggish. Like I just couldn't get through a workout, which is not like me. I usually can get through a 30-minute workout, 1, 2, 3, no problems. Maybe take a break here, take a break there. But literally, guys, I was struggling to get through my workouts, which is, like I said, never something that I experienced. So that was another sign that something was off. I just said, maybe I'm not taking my vitamins enough, or I need to cut back on X, Y, and Z. I didn't know what was going on, but that was another thing. Another thing, I don't ever break out, okay? I went through puberty. I had all the breakouts during puberty. As an adult, I never really have bumps and stuff like that. Like right now, I have a bump here. You can't even see it really. Maybe you can. I have a pimple here. So I never really break out like that. I had broken out the week prior to taking the test. And I thought that it was because I had switched up my facial cleansing routine and I was doing more exfoliation. So I was like, okay, so maybe we need to pull back on the exfoliation and just do our normal face wash routine or whatever. So I was like, okay, note taken. I can't even talk in this video. We're just going to stop with the whole facial cleansing. Another thing is around the 4th is when I get my period. So on the 4th, I do remember being at work, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at my calendar for verification. The 4th was a Friday. So I know I was at work because on Fridays I work with the rest of my coworkers. And I remember going to the bathroom and wiping, and there was a little bit of spotting. There was a little bit of blood. So I was like, okay, my period is coming. I went, got a pad, took care of that, whatever. But nothing ever came. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, because guys, you have to understand, I really did not think I was pregnant. So the fact that I had some bleeding, I was just like, okay, my period is coming. And I just thought nothing of it all the way to the 6th. I thought nothing of it, which is crazy. I mean, me doing this video and saying these things is so crazy because it's like, girl, you should have known. You should have known, but I did not know. Anyway, I was very emotional, which I am not. I'm not really a crier like that or anything like that. So I was very emotional, and I will give you a quick story. So I was watching the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. This movie came out in like 2002. I never saw it, but I've always wanted to see it. So I finally sit down to watch the movie. And towards the end, there's a part where the 2 main characters get married. And at the reception, the father of the bride gives his daughter and her husband a new house. He buys them their first house. And when I saw that scene, I just bawled, like legit, I was crying. And in the moment, I couldn't understand why I was crying, but it seemed like touching enough. Like, okay, I guess somebody would cry at this moment, but I was crying and I just didn't know why. Like, I just felt like so touched by that scene. And now in hindsight, I'm like, you was pregnant, you're hormonal. So I got emotional about that. And another symptom that I had was, I think prior to the 4th, I think the prior weekend, I had woken up, and this might be TMI, but I was very moist in that region. And I'm like, dang, excuse me. I'm like, dang, did I have a wet dream or something? Like, does that even happen for females? I've never heard or experienced anything like this before. So I'm like, what's going on? But again, I didn't think anything of it. And I think that somehow might have something to do with pregnancy symptom. I don't know. I've never experienced it before, but it definitely was something else that I experienced. And another thing was, I was sick. I had gotten a cold. My nose was stuffy. It was horrible. I do get sick, but I don't get sick a lot. So that wasn't something that was out of the norm, but I think because when you're pregnant, your immune system is not at its best. It's easier for you to get sick. So I did get sick. And I do remember Thanksgiving, I couldn't eat my whole meal. And I wasn't feeling very well after I had dinner. Like, I just couldn't stand the Thanksgiving food like the next day. You know how you have leftovers and it's always where the leftovers taste better the next day. That was not the story for me. Once I had the Thanksgiving meal that both my husband and I prepared, him more so than me, I just was repulsed by it the next day. And there was no explanation, like, why do I feel this way? So those are the symptoms that I felt before I got my BFP, big fat positive. And I just wanted to share that with you guys and let you guys know I'm a mom of 2 already, and your girl wasn't even in the mindset of thinking that she was having another baby. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned because I am going to be discussing my 4 to 6 week pregnancy symptoms and bringing you guys on this journey. This will hopefully be, I don't want to like put a period on it, but I think that this will be my last baby. So I really want to share with you guys everything that I experienced in this pregnancy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.